Welcome to the top 12 punk rock bass player list. Now, a little bit for the criteria. I didn't just judge it on skill. I judged it on a few other things. One of those was if they were a singer, especially if they sang lead. Are they a songwriter? I think that's important too. And how long were they in their band? What was the longevity of their band? You know, were they just 1 year? And sometimes you can't prevent that yourself. I give credit to people that have been in bands a long time. So skill, singing, songwriting, and how long they've been doing it as a band mattered to me. It was very tough. I had about 20 and I had to narrow it down to 10, so I expanded it to 12. So here we go. All right, coming in at number 12 is Wright from No Means No. This guy is incredible. He's amazing. I didn't know that much about his bass lines. I was aware of No Means No, but I jumped into their stuff and I was just blown away. The band was founded in 1979 by two brothers, Rob and John Wright. John's the drummer, Rob is the bassist and singer. They actually were a duo with no guitar player. They're kind of like Frank Zappa of punk, or even metal is thrown in there. They have odd time signatures. His bass tone's insane. So Rob Wright comes in at number 12 in the top 12 punk rock bass players. All right, number 11, Mike Roach from TSOL. TSOL was one of my favorite bands when I got into bass, so it was a big thing for me hearing all of his bass lines. He did his job like a bass player should do. He didn't you could tell he wasn't looking for glory, which I loved. I identified with that. You know, TSOL had a lot of songs that featured bass, or else underneath Ron Emery's chords, Mike was playing really cool, just energetic lines. Just the way he looked on stage, the lines that he played, and the songs that they had was a big influence on me. So Mike Roach coming in at number 11 on the top 12 punk rock bass players. Coming in at number 10, J.J. Brunel from the Stranglers. Now, JJ had probably the most unmatched tone of anybody. There's no bass I don't think that you can say was as signature as his. You just hear the Stranglers in 1 second and you know it's the Stranglers. You can't really say that about every band. And Peaches, if you know the tune, it's probably one of the most iconic bass lines that you need to learn if you're picking up bass. His bass had a throaty, really upfront quality. So from the Stranglers, J.J. Brunel coming in at number 10 in the top 12 punk rock bass players. Coming in at number 9, Fat Mike from NoFX. You know it 'cause you see it, you believe it. Now, the reason Mike lands at number 9 to me is because he does so many things. He's a songwriter, he's a singer, he wears dresses, he's got a record label. Another reason why I think Fat Mike and NoFX are cool is because they understand humor. Why not have fun? And another thing that I like about Fat Mike is the fact that I don't think he cares one bit about what anybody thinks of him. So Fat Mike comes in at number 9 on my top 12 punk rock bassists. Coming in at number 8, Klaus Fluide from Dead Kennedys. In a lot of Dead Kennedys songs, Klaus was beginning the song. I think that was the first time I ever heard the bass starting a ton of songs. I'd never heard that before. Him and East Bay Ray were like a match made in heaven in terms of making notes and making sounds together. The way like the bass starts in Holiday in Cambodia. And I was just a massive, massive Dead Kennedys fan. I was scratching out, the DK logo on my Peachy folder. Klaus Fluide comes in at number 8 on my top 12 punk rock bassists. Coming in at number 7 is Mike Dirnt from Green Day. So Mike has that iconic bass line in Longview. I said that NoFX probably has the most fun on stage collectively, but I think that probably Mike Dirnt on stage, he would give anybody a run for their money. The guy who's playing bass who has the most fun. He's a really good player. If you listen to his tracks, if you listen to what's going on underneath. So Mike Dirnt comes in at number 7 in the top 12 punk rock bassists. Number 6, Mike Watt. I first heard the Minutemen on Rodney on the Rocks, Volume 2. So many different influences going on. Like there was jazz and funk, and there was punk, and there was rocked out parts. It was really, really unique. You look inside you, you look inside me. And its bass lines underneath were kind of driving the fabric of all those changes, or at least tying them together. As revolution cries. A lot of different genres that have taken off can consider the Minutemen, or even specifically Mike Watt, an influence. So Mike Watt comes in at number 6 on my top 12 punk rock bass players. Coming in at number 5 is Carl Alvarez from The Descendants and All. Today, everything sucks today. Everything sucks today. Now, if you go to any who's the best punk rock bass player, you're going to see Carl's name up very high. And the thing that stood out to me the most was the fact that he was playing so fast with his fingers. I'm a song guy. I love songs. If you can play and have really good skill and it's impressive, but you're just soloing on an instrumental, I don't know, I just think that it's more weight and more impact if that playing comes in a really good song. Sacrifice, nothing else was a voice. Paid a price, never did a popular. So Carl Alvarez comes in at number 5 on my top 12 punk rock bass players. Coming in at number 4 on the top 12 punk rock bassist is Matt Freeman. He's a really unique player. Not a lot of players. We just mentioned Carl Alvarez, and there's not a lot of bass players that can play busy and have it really, really fit. If I fall back down, you're the I think what Matt has really done that's cool is that he's really put the bass into the front of what it can be in people's minds. How many kids listen to Rancid and say, oh, you know what? Bass is pretty cool, man. Listen to what's going on in this song. And did I say he's really fast? So coming in at number 4 in the top 12 punk rock bass players is Matt Freeman. Now coming in at number 3 is Captain Sensible and Paul Gray from The Damned. Stop to miss around. Gotta make it Now, I was obsessed with The Damned. In high school, I was completely obsessed. It was so cool to me that the bass, started a lot of their songs, and it was featured. Plus, I think the Damned might have been maybe one of the coolest punk bands of all time. They didn't have the snarl and the anger of the Sex Pistols, but you know, with Captain Sensible, you had like an energy of humor going on. So coming in at number 3 in the top 12 punk rock bass players is Captain Sensible, Paul Gray, and Al G. Ward from the Damned. Coming in at number 2, Dee Ramone from the Ramones. Coming from like one of the most iconic punk bands of all time, the Ramones, I think that what Dee did was he didn't play flashy, he played simple, and that was all that was needed. It's not something where you looked at it and said, man, that's too complicated. There's no way I could ever do that. You didn't say that about the Ramones. It gave you inspiration. It gave you courage to do it. You looked at them and you said, if they can do it, man, let's put a band together. It was in your face, it was simple, it was hard, and it was fast. So Dee Ramone coming in at number 2 in my top 12 punk rock bass players of all time. All right, number 1. All right, coming in at number 1 in my top 12 punk rock bass players, Paul Simonon. What is so unique about Paul's bass lines is the fact that he was so different, you know? He played with a ton of space. He was influenced by reggae. He didn't fill up the songs with lots of notes. What he was doing, he was carving out unique melodic bass lines that would drive the music of the Clash. Paul also has an iconic bass line in the song Guns of Brixton that he sings lead on.
You can crush us, you can bruise us, but you'll have to answer to.
So coming in at number 1, the top spot, Paul Simonon from the Clash in my top 12 punk rock bassist of all time.